Dear adventurous Sagittarius, boundless spirit of the cosmic journey, if you have found yourself here with me today at Cosmic Treasure, it is no mere chance. Something profound, an unmistakable pull from your questing soul, has guided you to this sacred space. And this is not just another message. It is a revelation, a whispered truth from the universe itself, meant to speak directly to the truth-seeking, expansive spirit you carry. Today we journey into the depths of your visionary world, for I have sensed a powerful energy long unacknowledged, now rising within you. There is a quiet truth your soul has known, often pushed aside for the sake of avoiding conflict or to maintain your freedom, yet it persists, a subtle weight on your boundless spirit within certain connections. Someone, perhaps cloaked in the familiar comfort of kinship or deep affection, has been attempting to subtly tether your restless spirit, creating an unconscious obligation that leaves you feeling stifled. This isn't a loud storm, but a quiet current of unspoken expectation, a subtle hand gently yet persistently seeking to anchor you to their reality instead of allowing you to chart your own course. But here's the sacred truth, Sagittarius. Even as these currents swirl, a magnificent field of light is blossoming around you. And this light, dear one, does not come from external sources. It radiates from within, born from every truth you've championed, every horizon you've dared to chase, and every time you chose to protect your own boundless spirit. This message is for your soul, a letter of affirmation for the profound spiritual gift you carry, a gift that makes you utterly untamable by those who seek to clip your wings or dim your truth. We will trace the awakening of your powerful visionary intuition, and we will speak of a love not coming to complete you, but to walk alongside you, honoring your wholeness and your sacred need for boundless exploration. This is your invitation to claim the truth, not the truth others project onto you, but the deep, unwavering truth that resides within your core. Stay with me, questing soul, for what is about to unfold may invite you to reflect on your entire journey, revealing that you were never naive, only profoundly optimistic and deeply wise. Take a moment now to breathe deeply, anchoring your spirit into this present moment. Let your heart, not your mind, receive these words. And as you listen, consider this. Isn't it true that the deepest pains weren't the sharp words, but those moments when your spirit recognized the truth, yet you still held your tongue, still convinced yourself you needed to play along? For them, you have grown accustomed to compromising your convictions, to toning down your vibrant self, even before others asked you to. This is not a mark of weakness, Sagittarius. It is the sacred sign of a soul that learned to navigate a world where love sometimes arrived disguised as subtle manipulation, as a subtle expectation of conformity, or even a fear of losing your wild spirit. But that season, dear one, is now yielding to a new dawn. You are no longer bound to live within those familiar shadows. The unsettling truth is not that someone seeks to limit you too much, but that you have for too long lived as if it were a normal current of life, dimming your light so others might feel comfortable in their own limited perspectives. Yet you were born to radiate truth and expansive vision, and authentic light, beloved Sagittarius, never needs to apologize for its brilliance. There's a quiet knowing within your soul, a truth you've perhaps never spoken aloud, but it hums beneath the surface of your days. Something isn't quite right behind the scenes. This isn't a fleeting hunch, but a persistent tapestry of signs, restless nights without obvious cause, a vague feeling of internal unease, moments where your feet feel heavier than usual, and a nameless fatigue, even when your external world appears exciting. No, this isn't random, Sagittarius, for everything is energy, and a part of this current is not originating from within you. There is someone, perhaps once close, who has quietly attempted to steer your life in a direction that ensures your constant presence and conformity to them, not through direct confrontation, but through subtle emotional manipulation. They don't openly criticize, but they subtly make you feel irresponsible or naive for chasing your dreams. They don't need to speak loudly, for they understand how to spread a dense energy merely through their unspoken expectations. And then, as has happened so many times before, you find yourself questioning, am I being too reckless? Am I too much? No, precious Sagittarius, nothing is wrong with you. You are simply shining, and they have not yet learned how to respect that beautiful, untamed light. Yet when the truth can no longer remain veiled, the universe itself intervenes. Karma, dear one, does not arrive with a crash of thunder. It unfolds in quiet, persistent whispers, gradually unraveling what was thought to be hidden forever. You, with your pure heart, need not seek retribution. Light does not need to react to darkness. Instead, understand this profound truth: when a soul chooses to live kindly, the universe will never permit injustice to prevail. Every action, even the most silent, echoes through the cosmic tapestry. No one can truly find peace when their own conscience begins to speak the truth of their deeds. What they have sown will return to them not as punishment from you, but as a deep sense of aimlessness that no other can truly fill for them. You may witness them slowly losing the expansive perspective they once derived from your presence, their ability to limit your narrative slipping away. The structures they built on subtle control and limiting beliefs will subtly crumble for lack of genuine, truthful foundation. And when the mask finally falls, no one will need to point fingers, for they will have nothing left to cling to. When you live with an open spirit, with bold words and actions rooted in self-respect, you cultivate a silent, unshakable strength, a strength that darkness simply cannot penetrate. You have no need to prove anything, Sagittarius. You simply need to stand firm in your truth, for authentic light needs no noise. It only needs to illuminate. Others may attempt to distort your truth. They may sow seeds of doubt about your intentions in certain hearts, but no one can make you doubt yourself unless you allow them entry. Now, if these words are stirring a quiet knowing within you, if you have ever felt this subtle manipulation or found solace in these deep truths, I invite you to share your heart with us. Write "My truth is free" in the comments below. Let your experience become a beacon for another soul, still navigating similar shadows. And if this message resonates, please extend its gentle reach by liking this video, sharing it with a Sagittarius who needs this reminder, and subscribing to Cosmic Treasure to continue this journey of awakening with our compassionate community. If you have ever found yourself asking, "How am I still standing after enduring so many spiritual wounds?" listen closely once more, for long ago, you were gifted with a power that not everyone possesses, a power that others may attempt to imitate, but can never truly embody profound philosophical intuition. This isn't a skill you acquired. It has been woven into your very being since birth. You discern the underlying truths, even when they remain unspoken. You intuitively know who needs your expansive perspective and who carries an unnamed limitation, not because you seek to save them, but because you were sent to this world to preserve truth and expansive vision amidst its limitations. And it is precisely because of this gift that they cannot truly control you, cannot manipulate you, cannot break you. This beloved Sagittarius is merely the genesis of an even grander awakening journey that awaits you. For from the moment you began to sense that something was amiss, it was also the moment when the sacred souls around you began to whisper, not through words but through resonant vibrations. The soft whispers in the wind, the quiet longing in your heart, each time you entered a space that felt subtly altered, these were never random. Since childhood, you have been profoundly protected. Certain ideological storms have been diverted from your path, not by luck, but by an invisible force that stepped in to shield your questing spirit. Perhaps you don't fully embrace concepts of angels, ancestors, or guardian spirits, but your soul, dear Sagittarius, has never doubted their presence. You have sensed them through dreams, through the feeling of unseen wind at your back, when no one was physically near, through a sudden surge of inner knowing, precisely when you felt on the verge of collapsing. These are not coincidences. This is the luminous halo you carry, invisible to others, yet eternally present. And it is this very halo that makes those who carry poison hesitate in your presence. They may not comprehend why they feel uneasy around you, why every attempt to diminish you seems to lift you instead. They do not know you walk with guides. They do not know that while they plot in the shadows, a tireless team of light works ceaselessly to keep you aligned with your path. You may not perceive them with your eyes, but they are ever-present, gentle, as the smoke of incense, silent as a whispered prayer in your darkest hour. They don't appear to solve all your challenges, but they serve as a tender reminder of your inherent worthiness. And that Sagittarius is true power. For as long as you remember you are loved, not for your conformity, not for your perfection, but simply because you are, you will never lose yourself, no matter how relentlessly the world attempts to constrain you. Perhaps someone once led you to believe you were asking for too much merely by desiring freedom. Perhaps you were told you were too blunt, too restless, too optimistic. But now, dear Sagittarius, you know, don't you, that is not a weakness. It is the sacred truth of a soul that not everyone is brave enough to comprehend. And if you have ever felt too different to truly belong, remember this profound truth. You were not born to blend into the crowd. You were born to boldly elevate the frequency of this world, even if only a little through your authentic and expansive presence. You are navigating one of the most challenging yet profoundly powerful phases of your journey. For this is no longer the time to close your eyes and let things slide. It is the time to open your eyes to the truth, even if it makes your spirit tremble. This is the moment to rise, not to retaliate, but to face everything you once endured and choose to forgive, yet never to permit its repetition. And there is something pivotal you need to hear right now. Someone from your past is making their way back into your energetic field, someone who once caused a profound spiritual fracture within you, perhaps related to your sense of freedom or authentic path. Perhaps it was a connection that never truly solidified into the expansive journey you longed for, or someone you once believed you couldn't live without. They will reappear, perhaps in a vivid dream, a lingering memory, or a seemingly harmless message. They will speak of change, of missing your uplifting presence, of realizing their mistakes. But beloved Sagittarius, is this the truth, or is it the final subtle test to see if you have truly chosen yourself and your sacred autonomy above all else? Just as the universe often sends its messages subtly yet clearly enough for you to recognize, this past connection will return not with a grand loud apology, but with a delicate, almost quiet presence, as if no pain had ever transpired. An unexpected text, a dream that awakens you in the dead of night, a photo they once shared suddenly reappearing in your feed. They will profess change, that they have deeply pondered you, that they miss you, regret their actions, and need your expansive spirit. They will artfully use cherished memories of shared moments of intimacy to attempt to unlock your spirit, the very spirit they once left feeling constrained. And they will seek forgiveness, not always through words, but with a gaze that might threaten to melt your resolve. But darling Sagittarius, this is not a test of whether you still love them. It is a profound test of whether you still choose yourself and your own boundless freedom. A part of you, the part that always prioritized others, that believed love meant compromising, that thought you had to explain yourself endlessly and be endlessly flexible, may feel stirred. But you are no longer that version of yourself. You no longer live from your wounds. You live from your truth. And the truth is, if someone truly values you, they will not wait until you are broken to realize your worth. Real love does not require you to trade your dignity or your peace just to survive. Perhaps they truly have changed, but not every changed person deserves another chance to re-enter your sacred space. Forgiveness is a gift you bestow upon yourself, and trust that dear one is something the other person must earn anew. And if this time you choose to say no, not out of hatred, but because you have learned not to return to what once made you doubt your own luminous essence, then that Sagittarius is the moment you truly step out of an old cycle. Forgiveness is healing, yes, but self-respect is profound liberation. You may still hold love for them. There may be nights when their absence aches, but what makes you undeniably strong is not that you have forgotten them. It is that you consistently choose not to return to the place that once caused you to lose yourself. And then, when you finally close that door with both love and unwavering finality, you will hear something within you exhale softly, as if your soul has at last been released from a prison you had grown too accustomed to recognize as anything but freedom. That Sagittarius is the moment the universe begins to prepare another doorway for you, where someone is approaching not to complete you but to walk beside you, not to control you but to lovingly witness your radiant truth. A different kind of love is emerging, but you can only truly receive it when your hands are no longer clinging to the old familiar door. And then, as you begin to gracefully step out of the loop of old emotions, you will observe peculiar things unfolding. Doors that once remained stubbornly shut will now gently creak open. Opportunities you believed had slipped away will reappear, not with a loud clamor, but with a quiet, persistent invitation. This time, are you ready to receive? Perhaps you have always felt a step behind others, that the profound wisdom and far-sightedness you carried within were never acknowledged at the right moment. But the sacred truth is the universe never forgets a soul who lives with kindness and an adventurous spirit. There were prayers you thought were lost to the wind, but in reality they were the invisible threads quietly guiding you to this very turning point. You need not rush. You need not shout to the world who you are, for true talent, when it springs from a humble and authentic heart, will ultimately speak for itself. And you, dear Sagittarius, possess such a gift, a very special ability, that when you engage with it, doesn't deplete you, but rather fills you with peace and a sense of profound purpose. Something you once believed everyone could do, yet, when you do it, it carries a unique truth, an expansive energy, an inspiring presence. You once concealed it, once dismissed it as something too idealistic, once pushed it aside because life presented too many worries about practicalities. But now you can no longer pretend, for it is not merely a passion, it is a calling. You were not born to repeat an exhausting routine to trade your spiritual well-being for external validation. You were born to utilize that gift, whether it's through leading a quest, sharing profound insights, inspiring others to explore, teaching universal truths, writing adventurous stories, or simply being a profoundly authentic and uplifting force to help another soul feel brave and enlightened. And the beautiful paradox is this: when you begin to offer the very essence you were created to give, the universe will begin to return things you once deemed impossible. You will witness the right people appearing, invitations arriving not through conventional connections, but through synchronous coincidences. And money, something you once worried about to the point of exhaustion, will cease to be a battle. It will transform into a gentle flow, not too much, not too little, but precisely enough for you to live your truth without sacrificing your authentic self any longer. From this moment forward, remember one vital truth, Sagittarius. Your spiritual energy is your most precious asset. Cease investing it in places that leave you depleted. Do not continue to pour your invaluable love, time, and care into spaces that do not cherish it. Do not use your precious light to warm places that have consciously chosen to dwell in the dark. From now on, you will only water what you genuinely wish to see flourish, not out of selfishness, but because you have learned that not everyone is worthy of the pure energy you carry. Begin with small, bold acts, a spontaneous adventure a day, without explaining yourself one intentional no to something that restricts your freedom. For each small act of this nature is your spirit's declaration to the universe, I am ready to live as my true self. And when you begin walking from a place of profound self-respect and expansive wisdom, rather than emotional lack, every step you take, every word you speak, everything you create, will carry a vibration that others cannot help but perceive. For at that moment, you no longer need to strive to be seen. You become the very light and truth people are naturally drawn to. And you know what, beloved Sagittarius? The most beautiful part hasn't even arrived yet. The subtle signals from the invisible world are becoming exquisitely clear, and your intuition is awakening on a deeper level than ever before. Sometimes truth doesn't manifest in words, it arrives in vivid dreams. Perhaps you once dreamed of charting a new course, or standing before a vast open vista, waking with a mixture of peace and certainty, unable to name the feeling, yet clearly sensing something was calling you from another layer of consciousness. Your soul, dear one, never ceased speaking. Life was simply too noisy, and you missed its silent messages. Every time you see a boundless horizon in a dream, know it represents unexplored wisdom, seeking expression, or the deep currents of your universal understanding. When you see a path, a compass, or ancient symbols, your soul is signaling that it is time to embark on a new quest, or to address higher wisdom. Dreams are not random. They are the intricate maps your intuition draws when the conscious mind is at rest. No one understands this better than you, Sagittarius, a soul who has always lived with profound philosophical understanding and a deep connection to the universal truths others call sacred. You don't need to be taught how to communicate with the universe, for you are an intrinsic part of that universe. You merely need to return to stillness like a wild horse pausing before a boundless plain, to clearly perceive what has always been present. Repeating numbers, a strange glance exchanged in a crowd, a song playing at the precise moment you needed insight, these are not coincidences. These are direct messages. A soul that has awakened like yours can no longer pretend not to hear them. For once your eyes have truly opened, you cannot go back to sleep. This also means you will begin to sense things that others simply don't notice. Perhaps you'll find it challenging to explain why you feel someone isn't truthful even if they have done nothing overtly wrong. Perhaps you'll intuitively withdraw from a conversation, sensing it leaves you spiritually confined. Do not doubt that profound feeling, Sagittarius, for your intuition does not require external proof. It only requires your unwavering trust. You have lived long enough to comprehend that those instincts once mistakenly labeled as recklessness are in fact the only compass that has kept you standing amidst life's most turbulent ideological storms. You have learned how to feel the truth through a mere vibration, a nervous laugh, or a silence that emanates not from peace but from a profound lack of authenticity. And this ability to read what is never spoken is the greatest gift you possess. The moment you begin to truly trust it, you will no longer chase anyone for external validation. You will not need to ask others what to do, where to go, or who to choose. You will simply know, not through logical thought, but through a deep, expansive calm that radiates from within. That calm, Sagittarius, is the answer for anything that genuinely makes you feel at peace, and boundlessly free will never lead you astray. And when you begin to live from that place, from awakened intuition, you will witness old relationships quietly closing and new paths naturally unfolding. There will be no need to rush choices, for everything is aligning at the precise pace your soul chose before you were born. The universe is whispering, dear one. You simply need to listen. You don't need anyone to save you. You were never so frail that you required another to define your worth. But it is also true that you have always dreamed of a love that could walk faithfully beside you, not to fix you, but to journey with you through the expansive days and the profound discoveries, a love not to fill your perceived gaps, but to experience life more fully together in a shared, boundless world. And the miracle, Sagittarius, is this. When you no longer cling to the past out of fear of being alone, the door gently opens for the one who truly deserves to walk into your life. Someone who does not arrive with noise, who makes no grand, cinematic promises, but whose gaze is quiet enough for you to realize, I no longer have to pretend to be settled or constantly explain myself to be loved. They do not love you for what you can offer, but for who you are in your boldest, most authentic version. They are not drawn to the brilliant facade you unknowingly project when forcing yourself to thrive, but to the bold way you live, purely, and with an unwavering faith in the power of truth and expansion, even in a world full of doubt. They will not make your heart race with frantic excitement, but they will make it soar, settling into a profound peace and freedom, not because they are flawless, but because by their side you no longer have to conceal any part of yourself. No pretending, no dodging, no shrinking to fit someone else's expectations. And you will realize that true love does not begin with, "You are everything to me," or "I'll change for you," but with a gaze that simply says, "You don't need to be anything other than your beautiful, adventurous self." This time you will not love from a place of fear of loss. You will love with a heart that has navigated its cracks and still bravely opens to the light. For you have learned that love is not about accepting what hurts you simply because you fear no one else will love you like that. True love, dear Sagittarius, is when you are chosen every single day, not out of obligation, not because of past memories, but because in this sacred present moment, you are the one they deeply desire to share each second with and to build an awing, expansive future with. They may not arrive in the form you once dreamed of, but they will arrive with the right presence, the right respect, and with a mature love that does not engage in silent emotional games or hold unreasonable grudges. For they too have walked through their own landscapes of pain, and thus they deeply understand the immense value of honesty, patience, and true healing. And when you meet them, you will not need to question their sincerity. You will simply know, not through words, but through an incredibly clear feeling: I no longer need to be on guard. No more power dynamics, no more manipulative silences, no more daily philosophical debates or attempts to justify your path just to ensure the relationship's survival. This time, love arrives not to teach you a lesson, but to gently chart a course with you. But you know what is even more beautiful, Sagittarius? Even if this love has not yet physically arrived, you can still smile for you. No longer permit the emptiness in your heart to be filled by the wrong person. You have bravely navigated the philosophical wilderness on your own, and from where you stand now, you can clearly see that a love truly worth having will never ask you to trade your inner light or your sacred freedom just to survive. Someone who genuinely loves you will not love you only when you are strong. They will love you even in your curious, questing moments. For they know that when a Sagittarius soul loves with everything it possesses, that love is a boundless journey unlike anything else in this world. You once journeyed far for a very long time, seeking to find your true north and boundless path in this vast world. There were moments you believed that if you were good enough, kind enough, if you tried hard enough to enlighten everyone, then finally people would understand you, love you, acknowledge you. But the more you ran, the more breathless you became, not because you were weak, but because you were running in the wrong direction. You were chasing external acceptance and validation when what you truly needed was to return to your authentic self and create your own inner truth and expansive vision. Now you are no longer the same, not because you have hardened, but because you have learned not to compromise your sacred spiritual energy. You no longer expend your vitality maintaining relationships that make you feel diminished. You no longer strive to please everyone, for in the end you understand that when you forget who you are in order to be loved, that love is never truly real. It is time, Sagittarius, to pause. Pause to hear a different calling, the one you have heard many times before but always pushed aside. What is your purpose? No, not to become someone famous or great, but to live in profound truth with the unique energy you bring into this world. Perhaps it is a wisdom that boldly inspires others. Perhaps it is a way of speaking truth that makes someone feel truly enlightened for the very first time. Perhaps it is an expansive philosophical presence that emanates from your vibrant whole being. Do not mistakenly believe that only celebrities, renowned speakers, or high earners possess a mission. Purpose is not something you display. Purpose is something you simply cannot not do, because if you don't, a part of you subtly withers each day. You have possessed it for a long time, that thing that quietly brings you profound joy, the thing you can do for hours without experiencing fatigue, the thing people consistently thank you for. You hold that sacred gift, but you perceive it as something small. That Sagittarius is the very key for authentic talent. Does not need to be loud to be recognized. It needs your courageous belief that what emanates from the heart will always find its way to another heart. Perhaps you have doubted. Am I good enough? Does anyone truly care about what I am doing? But the truth is, there are countless souls waiting out there for precisely the energy and truth that only you can give. And if you dare to take that first bold step, you will witness the universe begin to arrange all the rest. Do not wait to be perfect. Do not wait to accumulate enough time, money, or external support. Begin right now with yourself in honesty, in kindness, and with your most genuine vibration. For what truly touches another's heart is not mere skill, not beautifully crafted words, but a lived truth, spoken by someone who has traversed the darkness and still courageously chooses to love life and illuminate others. And you, dear Sagittarius, are precisely that kind of soul, a Sagittarius heart that has been overlooked, perhaps taken for granted, certainly misunderstood, but never ever turned cynical. You chose to remain optimistic and expansive. That is not weakness. That is the purest, most profound strength. And for that very reason, you no longer need to fight for anything. Your inherent worth requires no external validation, for the universe already stamped it the moment you chose to walk towards the light and create your own inner freedom. There are things you simply cannot explain, like why a particular piece of wisdom resonates so deeply, why a stranger utters the exact enlightening insight swirling in your mind, or why you consistently feel something greater is quietly guiding you through life's most turbulent chapters. That Sagittarius is not coincidence. That is a signal from souls who came before you, from guardian angels, from your ancestors, from the very light you carried when you first entered this world. You do not have to navigate it all alone, even when you feel profoundly lonely, even when life makes you question the goodness of humanity. There are still invisible hands gently lifting you step by step, breath by breath, not because you are weak, but because you are a chosen one. Chosen to preserve truth and expansive wisdom in a world too narrow, chosen to illuminate with light. Rather than debate with darkness, chosen to be the living proof of something simple yet profoundly true. When you live in alignment with your soul's truth, the universe will align itself around you. And so you deserve to begin again, not from old wounds, but from new faith. You deserve to be loved, not because you are perfect, but because you are wonderfully real. You deserve to be received, not because you have tried too hard, but because you have always lived with a heart that never gave up. Place your hand gently on your chest. Take a deep, soul-centering breath, and speak these truths to yourself, not just with words, but with your entire being. My truth is within me, and it is boundless. My adventurous spirit is my strength, not my recklessness. I explore my inner world as boldly as I explore the outer. I am worthy of profound freedom and unwavering wisdom. You may write these sacred affirmations down. You may repeat them every morning as the sun rises or every night before you surrender to sleep. For every word spoken from the heart is a seed, and you, beloved Sagittarius, are planting a magnificent new garden within your own soul. And if there is one final tender truth you need to remember from this entire journey, it is this: you do not need to become anything other than who you truly are. You simply need the courage to return to that authentic self. For Sagittarius is not an ordinary soul. You are the living embodiment of truth, exploration, wisdom, and unwavering faith in the power of higher purpose. You are a bold miracle, radiantly shining in a world that so profoundly needs your illuminating truth. Have you ever felt profoundly guided by the universe? Perhaps through a dream, a distinct sign, or a person who appeared at the perfect moment? Have you ever consistently repeated an affirmation and felt your heart subtly soften, gently shifting your reality? Please share these precious experiences with me in the comments below, for what you share might just be the quiet flame that warms another's soul today. And if you are still here listening until these very last moments, then I deeply believe this: your heart remains open, open to healing, open to faith, open to a new journey, not born from old wounds, but from a profound awakening. You may not fully realize it, but by choosing to stay until the very end, you have given yourself a precious gift, the sacred time to love yourself again and to never abandon your own soul, not one more time. Today, if there is one thing you must do after this video, it is not to change yourself, not to immediately take action or to try harder. It is simply to sit still, place your hand upon your heart and whisper, "Thank you." Thank you to yourself for not giving up. Thank you to yourself for safeguarding your authenticity no matter how relentlessly the world attempted to strip it away. Thank you to yourself for consistently choosing the light even when the path of darkness seemed easier. And if you have ever felt too different, too bold, too easily misunderstood, then please remember this: the world yearns for more people like you, for truth is not something to conceal, it is something to be generously shared. If anything in this video resonated deeply within you, please share it with me in the comments. What have you navigated? How are you feeling in this very moment? What new feeling of peace are you ready to gracefully welcome into your life? For when you articulate it, you are not merely healing yourself, you are also gently illuminating the path for another soul, still wandering through the very darkness you once traversed. Never forget, dear one, we are walking this journey together. No one is left behind, and no experience of yours is meaningless. Each one is meticulously shaping the radiant soul named you. And if you wish to continue this sacred journey with me at Cosmic Treasure, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because every video here is a spiritual letter crafted just for you, a sacred space where you are seen, understood, and cherished, not because you are perfect, but because you are a soul who dares to live truthfully. And that, beloved Sagittarius, is the most sacred thing of all. To you, the one watching these final moments, I send a wholehearted blessing with all my love. May you find peace with every truth, may you be boundless with every choice, and may you always believe that the luminous light you carry in your heart will always, always find its way to the next horizon.